welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Bill from Escape This Podcast. I've finally gotten rid of Cambo.
Who needs him? What a loser, man. Imagine
What
how
a
bad
loser.
this podcast would be if Cambo were here.
I know, it's rubbish.
Guess what, everyone? Announcement. I am here this episode.
Yeah, you're guesting on the Reddit on Reddit podcast.
Yes,
because Bill has taken over.
Welcome to the show,
co-host.
Cambo.
Well, thank you very much. I do need to bugle out of that announcement. Hang on.
Thank God.
We must respect the bugle because, fun fact, it's our top-selling merchandise. Is our announcement bugle T-shirt. It has sold more than anything else on our Redbubble store.
I think we've sold upwards of one.
No, double that, Nelson.
Yeah, upwards of.
Oh, right.
I couldn't say upwards of two. That would be incorrect. Yes. So we do have Bill from Escape This Podcast. I don't know if any of our listeners have listened to our previous episodes before. If you knew, you might not have, but we've had Bill on before. He does Escape This Podcast. It's an audio-only escape room podcast. And it's really fun. And so we like having Bill on. And I thought, hey, why not have him on again?
Well, the thing is, Nelson, I'm sure that over
I'm excited.
I'm sure that over like the many years that Bill's been doing Escape This Podcast, he's got like an elevator pitch down perfectly. But I mean, you summed it up pretty haphazardly there, which is good.
Yeah. Maybe Bill, you should tell everybody what your podcast is really about. And you actually have more podcasts now this time.
Yes, I do. Look, you got it pretty much right. Escape This Podcast, we always say on the show it's a mix of tabletop role-playing and escape room puzzles because, yes, we design escape rooms as audio-only games, and we have guests come on and play through them. You've been on. You were in our second season, which was very good fun. You played a small girl in a bedroom.
Yeah, I did. I think vaguely from memory, people were saying it was the best episode you've done. I think
that's how we say it. Chapter 5 of our 10-chapter arc with a connected story. That's what we say. That's our jumping in episode because it's really our best.
That's right.
That's where people got to jump into the show. But we've been doing that for a while. We also have a second show at the moment called Solve This Murder. Where my wife Dani, so she is the creative brains behind both of these shows. She does all the game design parts, and she also designs murder mysteries that you play as like a tabletop role-playing version of a murder mystery, which I try and play through and solve as the detective, and that's been very difficult. That's a much harder show. Puzzles are designed to be solved quite easily. Murder mysteries are a lot harder to piece all the pieces together.
I do like the idea of you describe it as like a cross between different things, and I like that. So Nelson, would you say that this show is a cross between scrolling through Reddit and talking to those guys from high school you don't talk to anymore?
Yes, I think that's correct. Also, just a pile of garbage is probably what I'd add in.
So it's a cross between
good show.
It's a cross between
have some self-esteem.
Scrolling through Reddit, guys from high school you don't talk to anymore, and a pile of garbage.
A pile of garbage. But you know what? Not anymore. Not since Bill is now the host, one of the hosts. He's going to improve this tenfold. Something else, Bill, that you do actually is that you stream quite often. I pretended to stream for a little bit, and I haven't done that for a very long time. But Bill, and you probably don't know Bill, but I actually watch your stream quite often. I'm not always in the chat. But that's genuinely really fun to watch too. You do a lot of Nancy Drew games.
Yes. So our most consistent game that we play on Twitch has been Nancy Drew. Every Sunday, without fail, always more of a Nancy Drew mystery game. And given that we have like this sort of mystery and escape room audience already, it's been an easy game to transition into, and it's a lot of fun. When we had time before our hectic recording schedule in the last couple of weeks, I was also playing a lot of like Darkest Dungeon and started playing through the Batman Arkham games. Dani played an entire run of Pokemon Blue. Oh no, she hasn't quite finished it yet, but she's been playing Pokemon Blue blindfolded, so she can't see the game at all.
Which, by the way,
that's been going quite well.
It is so. weirdly entertaining to watch, because you'd think that watching somebody blindfolded play through a Pokemon game is not that exciting, especially like for me, like I haven't played through that Pokemon. I don't know. Like I've only casually played Pokemon games before, never finished a single Pokemon game in my life. But there's something about like the fact that she'll call out what she can see or what's around her with not being able to see it. Like, oh, I think there's an item that's like a few squares away from me, but I don't really need that to get past the next part. So I'm just going to skip past that. I should run into a trainer.
Mix of where everyone get like really impressed when a battle starts and Dani will go, oh, based on the cry of the animal, I know it's this. And I know that based on the air I'm in, it's going to be between level 7 and 12. And I know therefore it would have these moves, and destroys it. Yeah. And then you lose all respect when she then spends 1 hour walking into the side of a Pokemon Center going, how do you get into this thing?
It's so I know, it's so upsetting when you see her like run into a signpost a million times, and you're like, oh, if you just took one step to the left, you would get past that.
One step.
Now, Nelson, one last thing.
That's been a fun journey as well. One
last thing before you get into your Reddit on Reddit is something that we forgot to call out at the top of the show last week. Is we have our 200th episode coming up in just a few weeks' time, and we want everyone that's a listener to be involved as well. So we're asking if anyone can record a voice message that they want to send us, whether it be just a general 200 episodes well done kind of message, or if you want to ask us an Ask Reddit or a shower thought or an AMA, anything like that. Record a little voice memo on your phone and either email it to us or send it to us on Facebook or Reddit or anywhere that we can download it, and we want to involve everyone in the 200th episode.
Yes. Also, side note, you've probably realized by now, but we're recording remotely again. Yeah. Because we've had a bit more of an outbreak of the coronavirus in Victoria, Australia, and they've decided to go back to some of the protocols that we had previously, and so we're recording remotely again. So it might not sound as great as usual, but again, that's only slightly lower than the normal quality, so you should be fine. All right, I think we should get into it. This first Reddit on Reddit was in the subreddit Crazy Ideas. And it was by the user Brendan Fraser.
Oh,
yes.
Could be him. What else is he doing?
Probably could be him. I haven't seen him. Any rumors of him in an upcoming movie. Did
Doom Patrol get cancelled?
No, that's still going, but I don't think anyone watches it.
Oh yeah, okay.
I mean, I watch it, but I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, you are a weirdo. All right, this crazy idea. Tell Trump he won the election, but move him to a giant soundstage filled with actors a la the Truman Show and stream it everywhere.
You know what would be really interesting about this is give him free reign as well, because at the moment he gets a lot of people tell him no, like Supreme Courts and stuff like that. So just say yes to everything he wants to do as well, and see how quickly he'll burn it, like literally burn it to the ground.
Yeah, exactly. I love this idea that I think this is the best, craziest idea I've ever heard. Because, look, Trump as president of one of the, most powerful countries in the world, terrifying. Trump for entertainment value, brilliant. I want to see like him where let's just throw some fun situations at him. What if aliens came down to Earth? I want to see how he'd handle that.
That is a really interesting premise, actually. Trump versus aliens, I would love to see.
But it's the idea here that this show goes on for quite a while. Like episode 1, he thinks he won the election, but you just don't tell him yet. And then you let it go for a few weeks. You're like, oh, Mr. President, it's the start of your term and aliens have landed. What's going to happen? And you just see how long you can take it until he figures it out.
I imagine
is that the idea?
Yeah, which I think will last for almost indefinitely.
Well, would it not be like a constant 24-hour stream for 4 years?
Yeah, no, well, what we'll do is we'll say, look, because of the alien invasion, we've been so distracted that we're just going to keep you in for another 4 years.
Yeah, you can get 20 years out of it. this show.
Yeah, that's right. I just like the idea of just ridiculous scenarios that you could present to him and just be like, hey, Trump, we've located Santa's workshop, okay? And he wants to meet you. But you can't tell anyone. And then you just do this elaborate plan. You put him in a helicopter, you fly him around in a circle a few times, you drop down on a stage that's just got fake snow, but like as if it's gonna matter. Like, I feel like you don't need that many things around to convince this man that he's in.
I think
at the North Pole.
I think the problem is, like, if you remember the plot of the Truman Show, there are people that are trying to break in to tell Truman that he is on a TV show, and from what I know of some of the further right Trump supporters that kind of see him as like a deity, could you imagine the level of security that would need to be around to stop people? Because people would want to free him. Like, people would, I think, act quite crazy until they can get in the message, but it could also be quite fun to watch him unravel as he's slowly working it out.
I think maybe you just encourage him in some way that's fake news.
That's the thing, right? Like, to make this work, you don't need anything elaborate. You just literally need to be in charge of Fox News. And once you are, you can report, Trump's the president, And not only then would he believe it, but also the really, really diehard fervent supporters, they'd also believe it.
Yeah, well,
you'd be like, someone would say to them, "Oh, actually, sorry, it was different, and Cambo won the election. He's now the president of the United States. That's the real truth." They were like, "That's just left-wing propaganda. We all know that Trump's still president."
There's a point. I feel like we could save ourselves.
That's all you need. Just control of a huge giant news station.
I feel like we could save ourselves a lot of money then, and just create a fake Fox News that tells Trump that he is the president, and not have to like create this whole dome, because he'll believe it if it's on Fox News, and then the real president can just be somewhere other than the White House doing the proper job.
Yeah,
exactly. He'll believe it.
I like the idea that you do give him something ridiculous, right? So that, okay, let's say aliens come to Earth, but it's just a secret at the moment, right? Uh-huh. And they take Trump out and they say, look, we've got one of the aliens, and you show him this like stupid alien. He tells him something dumb, whatever. It's irrelevant, but they say, look, you can't tell anyone about this alien. And then he holds a press conference, and in the press conference, you get all the media to really push him on the alien and be like, "Hey, we've had reports that there's an alien and that you've seen it," and just see, like, because it's different right now when you're like 90% sure that he's lying, but if you can really like pin it on him just to see how his mind works when 100% that he's lying.
And the thing is,
so interesting.
I think it's a real kind of it's a real situation where he lies so much but also can't keep a secret as well. Like, he'll just be like, "Oh yeah, we did a secret operation," and he'll just drop like big secrets willy-nilly. So I think it would be great that you tell him, okay, there's aliens, they've told you not to tell anyone, and then people can bet on whether or not he'll lie about it or he'll just blurt it out at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, actually, that is definitely.
There's a certain like. There's versions of lying, right? Because there's this type of lying that you often get from Trump, which is the lying that like an 8-year-old does. Like, when like they just sort of start saying stuff and then they're caught in this like, "Oh no, actually no, my dad did invent cheese. Like, he did. No, you come to my house, it's made of cheese." Like, because he invented the whole thing. He gave me this whole new type of cheddar yesterday that only I could eat, and but I ate it all, so you can't see it. Like, it's this kind of just like you just keep going, and it's exact. To me, it's the exact same flavor of the like, I know better than anybody. I'm the expert. Yeah, they came to me and they said, we need you to know because you're the smartest man. You understand this better than anybody. And I said, hey, of course I do. I know it. It's just like you just.
Well, it's one of my favorite.
It just gets caught up. It's like, no, actually, I know.
It's one of my favorite Trump things, which is he's big on saying what other people said to him about him. He's always like, and then they said to me that you're the best. And I said, I know I'm the best. And they said, no, but you really are the best. Like it's always these secondhand quotes that he's telling you that someone else said about him.
Yeah, that's right. But that, oh my God, we need to somehow make this TV show happen. It'd be the best. And also just to see like definitely the way to make money is the gambling aspect, right? you say to everybody, hey, we're going to present Trump with this problem.
How will he react?
And you've got odds on what you can bet on. Like, I would like almost, this is what I'd like. You set up like a month or year of just events that are going to happen. And there's only two things that you can bet on.
Yeah.
Is whether Trump will or will not go to war. Because, you know, like Kim Jong-il told Trump he's fat. Oh, what are the odds on that? I don't know. Pretty high for war, I think.
He'd go to war for less.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Kevin, let's move on into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit is by Windy Scarecrow, but was cross-posted to us by Just Judging Reddit. What? I don't think a Windy Scarecrow would last very long. I'm just putting it out there. What is a form of legal torture?
Extra scary. When it's windy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even listening to the question. I'm talking about windy scarecrows. How much scarier is a scarecrow when it's windy? When it's normal, it's just standing there, just like, oh, that's obviously a man, but not really. It's stuffed with hay. When it's moving, it's going.
I feel
that's
like
scarier, I have to say.
If you really want to scare birds, before we even get into this Ask Reddit, you get one of those car dealership mannequins. You know, the ones that you pump full of air and they
the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube.
Put them in a field. Then you're scaring off birds.
Yeah, that's true. I think you're right though, Bill. Like a windy scarecrow, if you see a scarecrow that's like slightly moving in the breeze, that's much closer to being
to a real human, because humans are always just moving in the breeze. That's what we do.
yeah, that's right. I was thinking specifically, crucified. Somebody being crucified, right? And I feel like that would just be this terrible thought.
Crucifixion.
Yeah. I forgot what that word was. But if you went into a field and there's people that look like they're being crucified, you're not going to step onto that farmland.
So you're saying that keep the scarecrow perched on the thing, but make them very realistic, like people. Yeah. And then you're just like, well, let's not stop and let's not steal Farmer Joe's crops because he clearly crucifies people.
Yeah, right. That guy just wanted some corn to feed his starving family.
They're not going to get it at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, do you think a legal form of torture would be this conversation about the ins and outs of scarecrows and their effectiveness in wind?
Most of this podcast would in fact be a legal form of torture.
Look, we obviously have people that enjoy this show. God knows why, but there are people that enjoy it. But I do honestly think that it's
drug addicts.
It's such a rambling mess at times, and so incoherent and inconsistent that someone that really enjoys well-produced podcasts, this could be a legal form of torture.
Yeah, I think that's true. The problem is I find that you can turn this off. Okay, so it's a form of torture for some people. Other people like it.
Yeah.
I just started to maybe think about things that were quite annoying that you're forced to do or be around. And to me, the first thing that I thought about is what's annoying? Babies are annoying.
Yeah.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Nobody
we're
wants
all
to
with
be
you.
around a baby. Okay. Not even parents.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think
I've got a niece and nephew, and my brothers and sisters and their partners, they will tell you that they can't stand being around their kid for long enough, all the crying.
Do you think that often when someone has a new baby, there's the classic photo that's taken of the newborn in the arms, let's say the arms of the father, and they're smiling down at the baby. It's a very loving photo. And as soon as that photo's taken, they're like, all right, take it back. Put it in the thing over there. I'm done. I got that photo that everyone needs.
Yeah, I got the Instagram photo.
Yeah.
That's all I needed. So babies, number one, annoying. I mean, being on a plane with a crying baby, right? Because the thing is, you know that you can't say anything, really. Because, hey, sometimes babies need to travel. But also, babies hate getting their ears blocked or whatever happens. And they can't fix it. And so they just cry. So you can't get up and say any. There is no way to fix that situation. You just have to bear with it.
You can't fix the problem.
You could probably open the door, I guess.
The thing as well is like a baby crying is biologically designed to be really annoying. Like if it wasn't annoying, babies would die, right? Because they'd cry and the parents would be like, "Oh, that's fine. That's a pleasant sound," and then they wouldn't fix the problem. And like babies have to be annoying. It's their one mode of communication. Is this is terrible, so I'm gonna transmit that terror to you so that you want to fix my problem.
Yeah.
I love if you have a baby if you just have a crying baby sound and you can't fix it or get away from it, it's biologically designed.
It's meant to do that. Yeah. That's how they get us.
That's how we're built.
I like that evolution.
By our Lord and Savior.
Evolution has slowly worked out that people only do care about themselves, so much so that they're like, look, in order to help others, it's going to have to annoy you first.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you don't. We understand that if this was not a problem to you at all, and we were like, hey, please feed your baby, you would be like, nah.
I do think though, for I think the first world, a real way to torture someone, especially in the day and age where streaming is like the way that people get their entertainment, is just slow down everyone's internet on streaming so that it buffers several points throughout any given episode or movie, because immediately it's the closest to physical pain you can get without actually having physical pain.
Not enough to make you stop and like do anything else, because there's hope. It keeps coming back.
And it only ever buffers for a second. Enough time that you reach for the remote and then it will start again. And you're like, oh, okay, I think we're good. And then it will happen again. So you go to reach for the remote again, but then it's fine again.
No, I think that if you have to reach for the remote, that's too much, and I will not watch that anymore. For me, it's just like it's a split second of time, where it's like a split second of it, and you're like, oh, it was kind of like a little glitch, where it didn't work, and then until it does it like 10 times, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna pause it and just let it catch up for a bit, and then you play it again, and it still does it. How does that happen? All the time. It's so annoying.
I've already infuriated you just by mentioning this.
I'm annoyed thinking about it. Other things that I think are super annoying that you are obligated to do is like, let's say you're putting an application in for a property. Actually, no. Even better, if you're applying for a job, this is better. You're applying for a job. And you put lots of time and effort into your resume. You're like, oh, these are the qualifications I had, the experience, etc. And then you put that in online, and you click the next button, and then it says, hey, fill out this form. What are your qualifications and experience do you have, and what skills can you bring to this role? It's on the resume.
but also, like,
and even better,
frustrating.
Even better is that when you fill out the form, you get to the end, you say next, and it goes like, oh, sorry, like you made a small mistake on answer number 32, and it clears the whole form.
Everything. Oh my God.
When it refreshes, and you have to do the whole thing again.
Oh, that is so frustrating. Oh my God.
There's
it's especially annoying if you're writing, like, I don't know whether you've done, look, I've done this before, and I can't think of a specific example, but I know I've ranted online somewhere, some sort of complaint forum. And you write a long text about how annoyed you are at their service, and then almost like they know that you're writing a complaint. You've done something wrong, and it clears it all. You get to the hell with it. I won't do it again.
Well, I think that there's one other form of legal torture that we all with podcasts have the ability to inflict on people if we so choose, which is an intro to a podcast or an ad read that goes over 5 minutes long before the episode begins. So sometimes you're just browsing like a random podcast and then maybe they have a guest on it that you really want to hear. Let's say that, I don't know, Arnold Schwarzenegger is on this podcast. You're like, I like Arnold, I want to listen to him. But then you have to keep skipping forward until it actually gets to the point where he is being interviewed because they keep talking about Monday.com or like, some kind of mattress in a box service.
Yeah, that's true. But Cambo, really, you're missing out because you could use the services of Monday.com, or maybe you are sleeping on a bad mattress.
Are you getting paid?
I'm just trying to cover tracks for when we get a sponsor in future.
Oh, but you know who's terrible? Squarespace. Ugly people.
And I hear I hear their templates are really difficult to use.
Yeah. Okay, I have another one here. This is by Worried Mangoes. Okay. What is the best way?
Like you should try all these names before you get to the episode.
I probably should. Yeah, I think so.
It's been almost 200 and he never has, Bill. He's still surprised by names every week.
It's part of my thing now. I can't give it up. You'd be like, oh, I liked that part of the episode where Nelson stumbled over the name for 3 minutes. Okay, Worried Mangoes says, what is the best way to get someone to stop talking to you without being rude?
5-minute ad spot for Monday.com.
Okay.
In the middle of a conversation.
Yeah.
At a party.
I'm just going to stop you there. This conversation is brought to you by Monday.com.
Yes, that is a good thing. You know what? Could we possibly make money from that?
Just doing ad spots in real life.
Because I would be willing to interrupt my social life if it gave me a few bucks
for an ad. It would need to be, you'd need to be in a position where you are constantly talking to a stream of new people all the time though. So you'd need to be in some kind of position where you're like, you can present to that company, look, I talk to 40 to 50 new people every single day and I can drop an ad to every one of them. Otherwise, because you and I, especially now in lockdown, like who are we talking to?
Yeah, that's right. Here's what I think you could do.
If you're already a telemarketer or if you work in a call station or like a call center, you could also sublet yourself out to other companies. Just be like, oh, I'm so sorry we couldn't fix your computer today. God, it must be annoying. But you know what's not annoying? A mattress. And then you just keep going on with that.
Yeah.
Just work a couple jobs at once.
Do you realize you spend up to 1/3 of your life asleep? Yeah. I like that way of just pivoting.
That's pretty good, actually. You could have like 20 telemarketer jobs in one. You'd be the richest person in the world.
Well, what about this? This is a new concept. You've got door-to-door salesmen, right? They knock on the door. Do you want to buy this Tupperware or whatever? What about just door-to-door ads? You knock on someone's door and you're just like, are you sick and tired of having to read? Try audible.com, like just going around people's houses and advertising to their door.
And somebody's like, okay, how do I sign up? Oh, you need to download the app.
Yeah. But you can offer them a free trial.
Anything.
Yeah. I'm just here to tell you about it. Use the promo code CAMBO to get an extra 10% off.
Yeah. Here's what I think you can do to make somebody stop talking without being rude is if you hold up a finger and go to sneeze, that instantly stops the conversation. Okay. And then, maybe they want to start talking again. You go, oh, sorry. And then they start talking again. You go, that's going to stop them. You do that 3 or 4 times.
Just over and over again.
They'll just give up on the conversation. Like, oh my God. I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah.
But,
or you could just pretend to faint. No one's going to keep telling you about what they were telling you if you just fainted. Like, if you faint and then kind of come back to consciousness, they're not going to be like, sorry. Anyway, as I was saying,
yeah.
you just faint. But you can offer them a free trial. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Oh, just faint. Okay, that's pretty long game, but I like it.
Yeah, that's in desperate times.
You got to faint. You probably can't, like, if you just don't want to talk to the person anymore, because if you wake up and they're like, "Oh my God, you fainted," and then they'll obviously be more concerned and want to talk to you further about the issue that you've just fainted.
But I think at that point you can be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just a bit out. I'm just going to go over there and have a sit." And then
and they'll be like, "Oh my God, what can I do? I need to do something."
Now, Nelson, you know what happens here? You faint again.
Faint again.
You just keep fainting until they go away.
I'm imagining you need to faint to the point of
No, this is
okay.
It's not the fainting. Here's how you do it. You're in the middle of a conversation, and then you sort of suddenly you just furrow your brow and you look over their shoulder, and they'll be, "Oh, what?" And you go, "Oh my God, after all these years, it's right there. I finally found it. Sorry, excuse me." Then you just walk off. And they'll be like, "Oh, look, that's a personal quest. I mean, like, it's not about me. He's found the fulfillment of his personal quest. Like, they're going to do it. They just got to move on." I finally found him. Or you shout a name, you're just like, "McGregor? Oh my God, after all these years." And then you walk away. Bang, done. It's like, "Oh, look, this is beyond me."
I do think the key phrase is "after all these years." You need to somehow utter "after all these years."
It has to be after all these years.
Because that shows the gravity of the situation.
Them.
Yeah.
If you somehow get into a conversation again, though, you're gonna have to explain.
Yeah. After all week can wait. After all these years, that needs to be dealt with now.
Yeah. Exactly. Maybe
that has prep. Like, "Oh, I see that preceded this conversation."
Maybe should you also mutter like, "Daddy, after all these years." That gets real personal.
That's it. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter, right? That's the flavor that you can bring yourself, right? Okay. That's all the seasoning that defines you as a person. But the key ingredient here is "after all these years" and a wistful look.
In fact, even for inspiration, what you could do is play any sort of RPG game. Maybe it's The Witcher, maybe it's a Skyrim or something. And when you get a side quest, just note it down, on a piece of paper. And it'll be like, "Oh, hey, I need you to bring back this precious jewelry that was lost to me." Write that down. Put that in the pocket. Next time you need to get out of conversation, "Oh, I'm sorry. After all these years, this old hag once told me to find this bracelet."
Nelson, if you put off a conversation with me to complete a side quest, that's rude. Oh, what? She couldn't wait for the jewelry? It's not even in your real quest list. It's in the miscellaneous quest section. I'm not having that. That would be a personal affront.
Well, I think there's a version of this, a two-handed version of this, where you want to stop a conversation, but you still want to look awesome, right? So say I've set this up with Nelson, and I need to give him like a look across the room. And outside of whatever the party is, let's say it's a party situation, we've set up a bat symbol to shine into the sky. So I'm in a conversation I don't want to be in, and I nod to Nelson, and he turns on the bat symbol, and then I'm going to look at the bat symbol and go, "I'm so sorry, but I have to go," and run out the door. And then suddenly they're like, "This guy's Batman."
Yeah, well, but then they feed that information to the penguin, and then you're a dead man. So. Idiot, Cam. I can't believe you didn't think that through. He does have a secret identity for a reason.
If he is a villain, he's like, oh my God, he's let up. Like he's like, "I'm secretly the Joker."
Yeah. He pulls out a gun and shoots you. This is a terrible idea, Cam.
There's a risk.
It's still not a good situation.
There's a risk you don't do this maneuver in Gotham City.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Could you imagine? Now I am imagining I'm going to be in a conversation with somebody and they're going to be like, oh my God, the bat symbol, I have to go. And I'll be like, that person just totally blew me up. Like, obviously they're not Batman. We're not even in Gotham. All right, Cambo, let's get into Today I Advise. So now it's time for Today I Learned. Today I learned. And also sometimes advice. This Today I Learned is by Engineering Kills Me. Today I learned that James McCormick sold the ADE 651, a fake bomb detector, all over the world, specifically Iraq, by purchasing novelty golf ball detectors for less than $20 and reselling it for $5,000 each. His scam has cost the lives, and the bomb detectors are probably still in use today. Oh, I think I read that last sentence wrong. His scam has cost lives, and the bomb detectors are still probably in use today.
I think, Nelson, people that are long-time listeners to the show know that while the loss of life is bad, we do respect his hustle.
Yeah, we like a good scam.
we love a good scam.
Look, take out the fact that he's probably killed hundreds, if not thousands of people. That's a pretty good get. Here's my question then, is what is the device that we could sell to the military that is obviously a scam? And we're not gonna cause the suffering of millions of people. Maybe like one guy, there's obviously,
I feel
always
like
going to be people that don't benefit.
Where the money is in these kind of things, and feel free anyone to correct me on things that they may know that prove me wrong. But like developing technologies that are kind of theoretical at the point, but you're developing them to be real. So we should say, well, we're developing this algorithm that shows preemptively when people are going to launch a missile, and they spend millions and millions of dollars, and after 2 or 3 years of us not doing anything, we come back and go, it's not possible.
Okay.
Oh, can't be done.
Yeah.
Can't be done.
That's pretty good, except for the fact if they're putting the funding in because they're like, hey, we're almost 100% certain, 99% certain that North Korea is going to send a nuke towards us really soon.
Yeah.
You promise this technology will work, in the future.
We'll try our best, sir. That's what we'll say. We'll always non-committal.
Okay.
I like just vague things like, I don't know, couldn't hurt.
Yeah. Non-committal language.
Yeah.
I think is what we're looking for.
Look, it won't hurt your chances one bit. We can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
Because as long as we're not making it harder, then everything we say is true.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, as long as you don't sell them a fake version of the technology.
Yeah, we sell them on the idea that we're developing and we're so close, we think we might have it. And then,
it's right there.
Yeah. And we'll buy a bunch of stuff off Alibaba or whatever, enough to kind of give us a basic setup so we can kind of prove to them, look how serious we are. Look at all these banks of computers running data that we have. And then we live off that fat army commission for several years before we break the news.
Okay. I like the
I think
idea.
the bigger question here is what's a novelty golf ball detector?
Oh, you don't have one of them, Bill?
Did he have the technology to detect novelty? That's a real golf ball. That's a novelty one. I've used that device. It tells me whether or not that's a real golf ball, or whether when you crack it open, there's a little egg inside. What are we talking about here?
Either that, or there's some kind of company that makes novelty golf ball detectors, and one of them they're like, well, this one, it's a golf ball detector, but we've made it look like a bomb detector, and he's like, I could sell that.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
the novelty of it.
Yeah.
Well,
is a golf ball detector a thing?
I'm imagining the idea is like if you it's a joke present that you would give somebody where if they're really bad at golf and they're always hitting it into the rough, you say,
like, maybe you need a golf ball detector.
Yeah. And it just occasionally beeps every now and again.
If your golf ball is under the earth, you've played golf horrendously wrong.
Well, I mean, it could go into a lake or something, but I don't know.
Or you hit it so hard, just gone up, and smashed back down. That's how physics and gravity work. Smashes down so hard that it just explodes into the earth.
Which actually could be a danger. It could be almost like a bomb exploding.
But in that way, then a golf ball detector is quite quite a good present because you're like, oh, they know the power that I wield with my almighty golf swing.
Yeah, they know the power.
Yeah. So it's only really the best of the best. The most powerful golfers would really require them.
Yeah, that's
It can be a way to smugly show off. Like once you've hit it into the hole, or even just onto the green, you're like, oh wait, let me just check. Let me get my golf ball checked out. Oh, yeah, looks like I hit it right into the hole. It's right here. I'm detecting my ball. Oh, it's just right in the hole. Isn't that interesting? I guess I'm really good at golf.
So you think it's like a peacock thing? Like it's a bit of a peacock thing. You only use it when you know exactly where your golf ball is and you want to draw more attention to it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
Just let me just beep, 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 beep. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Oh, I think that was a hole in one. Let me just.
Surprising.
I think that was a hole in one. Let me just detect. Yep, it's in there. That's a hole in one, baby.
I'll change it. I'll change it to detect your ball. Shall I? Beep, beep, beep. Oh, sand trap. Oh,
yeah. I like that it has lower beats.
Oh,
like you press a button and it's
doesn't
like,
lie.
Beep, beep, beep.
I like to think that exact thing was happening, and
oh, damn.
I like to think that exact circumstance was happening, and then in a golf cart, just meters away, they couldn't hear the conversation. Some army general looking at the side of his cart, being like, "Oh, looks like a bomb detector. Let's talk to this man."
I just bought 1,000 of those from this guy. I can't believe they're using them here.
Does it seem like? Does this just show that the army is like way too trusting in anybody that's like, hey, I've got this technology and it works. Can we look inside and have a look at the the inner workings? No. Just trust me.
You can if you order 50,000.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah. It's the minimum order.
Yeah, we don't do sample ones. You're just gonna have to order the first batch.
Yeah, that's that. But also that's horrifying. Yeah. Here's another one.
Yeah.
This is by Spit. Oh my god. This is by Spit on Me, Lady Gaga. That's disturbing. I'm being cancelled for exploiting my fans for money. What should I do?
Well, first of all, tell us how you did that, because we need to start some revenue from this podcast, and we're willing to exploit pretty much anyone.
Yeah, I did bring this one up because I thought that it was useful for 3 podcasters to kind of brainstorm before we get to the point of exploiting our listeners, because it will obviously happen.
So
I'm planning to sell a detector.
Now, Nelson,
to, all our fans.
I know that you generally don't do any prior research or read any articles. Do you know what this person did?
No, but I think from judging by the recent atmosphere, I mean this was in shitty ass Reddit, I should say. I should point out, but I think that it might have been something more. It's pretty bad in the recent gaming culture.
Yeah,
there's been some another Me Too movement, and I think it's maybe touching on that side. But let's ignore that.
Okay,
it's more of a depressing and not as jovial topic.
And this is a family show,
and also something I don't want to bring up for legal reasons.
Right.
So, I think it's just about. There's people like...
So really, you just want to start to brainstorm how to exploit your fans.
How do I exploit them? And also, how do I get them to not know that I'm exploiting them?
So what you want is you want to know how they exploited their fans, but also you want the advice to what to do when you're cancelled for it.
Yeah. Potentially before, if I can get some advice before that point of being cancelled.
It's good to have that advice in case. You can put that into some kind of in case of emergency break glass a thing that if it really does happen, you do have it in your back pocket.
Just listen to this episode again.
Which is normally, at least for YouTubers, is like a 20-minute video of them in their bedroom, and it's just titled "I'm sorry," and they spend 20 minutes saying that they're sorry, but also recusing themselves of any real like responsibility for whatever they've done,
and monetizing the video in which they apologize.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah, there's like 10 ads in it. Yeah.
I'm sorry that you guys felt I did the wrong thing. It's really, I say, it's like I think one of the really bad ones. This is quite a while ago, actually. Was a guy who was selling cosmetic skin. Oh no, he wasn't selling it. He was there was a website, and it was like you buy loot boxes, and it gives you cosmetic skins of guns in the game CS:GO. And I think maybe Dota and stuff. A lot of Valve games kind of run off that skin system. And so he had like a percentage stake in the company, and then was playing it on his stream and getting these like really like super rare, super expensive skins. And it was like, oh, coincidence?
Yeah.
That the guy who's streaming to a lot of people owns part of this company and he's getting a lot of these, top quality products. So I think, and look, I wouldn't mind that as a scam by itself. Is like, just pretend I'm really lucky, or really, is there not? Does this not happen in normal advertising? Perhaps on podcasts, if somebody's like, "Hey, buy this mattress. I have the best sleep on this mattress." It could be just a flat out lie, and
but I think that there's a difference between like lying for marketing and not disclosing your involvement in a company for marketing is different.
You're getting paid for that ad.
Yeah, but like but like legally speaking, if you own a company or if you're a part owner of a company and you are presenting, so you need to disclose. I am part like that is actually like because there's this thing recently with a makeup YouTuber pretending that she got all these free samples from this new company, and she was kind of talking them up and they were selling really well, and then it was revealed much later that she co-founded that company and she is in quite a lot of trouble legally because of that. So I think like lying for marketing, everyone lies. Like I'm in marketing, I lie all the time.
And I think it's not quite the same as saying, oh, I'm getting a really good night's sleep when I'm not. It's more like saying, oh, you'll definitely get the bed. And then there's also, but not disclosing there's like a 90% chance that when you buy a bed, you just get an empty box.
Yeah.
This guy's like, when you open these, you get these cool skins. Oh, look at the chances. It just keeps happening. This is always going to happen.
That's true. And Bill, I know you didn't mean to, but I like where your head's at. I think we should start a mattress company where 1 in 20 boxes have the mattress.
All right, hang on.
The rest are empty.
I would like to announce the beginning of mattressgamble.com where you order a mattress and 1 in 20 won't have a mattress in them. And if that happens, you're the winner.
Yeah. Good. That's great. Yeah, and you could, I feel like,
and you can get just like it's like $20 a box, right? It's $20 a box. You might get $1,000 mattress, or it might have nothing, or it might be like stuffed with straw. Right? Which is like that's like a mattress. It's like an old-timey mattress.
Use it as a mattress.
Just straw in a box.
Yeah.
But there's always a chance you're gonna get that really good mattress.
Speaking of,
it's good. Is some companies, they're like, if you like give us your mattress, we'll give you a percentage off or something, because it's like just part of the fun deal that they're doing. We should then just like take those mattresses and just recycle them back to people. So it's a cycle.
I do like the idea of gambling during a retail purchase as well. So I have an idea, and I want to know whether you guys would do this. So you need to have clicked, you've committed to the purchase. And then just before it goes away, it says, whoa, you can spend the $200 on this mattress, or you can spin the wheel. And you might end up only paying $20 for the mattress, but you might also pay $400 for the mattress. Would you spin the wheel?
Yeah. I mean,
Never.
definitely. Not only would I spin the wheel, But what I would do is I would spin the wheel and then I'd be like, oh, I have to pay $400 now because obviously it's heavily weighted towards the $400. Obviously. And then I'd be like,
but it looks like it's not. The 400 is the smallest wedge, but it's got a 92% chance to land.
Nelson, you've worked enough in the gaming industry to know how to rig these things.
Oh, yeah, it's very easy.
Yeah.
But also, I think I would go back in and be like, well, maybe I'll purchase another mattress because I could spin the wheel and then I'd only pay $20. And then I could sell that to somebody and regain the money that I've lost.
Before you know it, you've got no house and 7 mattresses.
It's a foolproof plan. Also, this is what I'm thinking about, the fact that we have to disclose about that we own part of the company is what if we own like several different shell companies, one owns this, one owns this, one owns this. And then by the time you get to the gambling mattress website, it's just a web of, difficult thing to navigate. I can't even get there.
If someone works it out, congratulations. Due to them, we'll give their money back.
Yeah, they can have an extra spin of the wheel.
One free spin.
Yeah, we'll give them the ultimatum. Look, you could tell everybody that we had this guy, or spin the wheel.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I definitely spin the wheel.
Would do.
If you spin the wheel and get it good, you can tell 2 people that we did it. There's twice as many people that you can tell.
But if it comes up, don't tell anyone. You're not allowed to ever tell anyone.
It's legally binding.
Surely that's not going to happen. Look how small the don't tell anyone wedge is. It'll never land there.
All right. Let's get into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
This shower thought is by Nian Keki. In movies, killer robots almost always have 2 eyes, meaning people can sneak up from behind and attack them. However, in reality, anyone designing a killer robot would give its 360 degrees vision to prevent exactly that.
Yeah, I think people underestimate how doomed we would be if killer robots actually rose up.
What do you think then is like the pinnacle? If you were designing a killer robot, what would be some of the things that it must have?
I think it needs to have some, because the classic, and again, another movie trope, EMP, right? You let off a big EMP, all the robots shut down. And you need to make it impervious to EMPs.
Made of wood.
Made of wood. All the electronics made of wood.
Okay. No, wait. So what was was wood your answer? Sorry, I cut you off.
Again, it's me selling the thing without actually knowing what it is to the military.
Oh, okay.
I'll be like, I'm working out a way to make things impervious to EMPs.
We're going to design anti-EMP technology.
Yeah. So you pay me for the research several millions of dollars, and then in a couple of years, I'll come back and say it's not possible.
Can't be done. I'm sorry. Okay. So EMP impervious.
If multiple seasons of BattleBots has taught me anything, the most effective killer robot has a big metal bar horizontally that just spins real dang fast.
Yeah.
You can't beat it. It's an unstoppable weapon. 2 wheels on the back, 1 big spinning bar, and then I guess a 360 camera on top.
Yeah.
And you're fine. You've won.
Yeah,
it can't be stopped.
I also don't understand the preference to make killer robots humanoid in shape.
Yeah,
I feel like if you're just
we're
killing,
bad at stuff. We fall over real easy.
Yeah, that's right. Take one of our legs off. Really hard to run. Okay? It's just so impractical. Yeah. Okay. Here's what I'm thinking: a sphere. Okay, can't trip over a sphere.
Yes. Well, it falls over. It's still up. It's still upright.
Still upright. It also hovers. With hovering technology. I don't know how that would work.
That's the thing, Nelson. You don't have to. You just sell it to the military.
We're developing it right now.
I'm developing the technology. And then on to what you were saying, Bill, a big, like, just spinning metal blade thing around its center. It just flies at humans and just spins, cuts us into shreds. But there can't be anything else that would be better. No, I've just thought about something else. Okay.
Instead of the blades, they're all guns.
They're all guns. They're all nukes. Why not? Just
spinning guns. It's a sphere covered in spinning guns. Can't fall over.
And it's impervious to EMPs, by the way.
You know what? Pretty close to what I've realized.
And EMP impervious.
No, pretty close to what I've realized is the perfect answer. But okay, here's the problem with humans is that we don't want to die. Okay? Robots,
it's ridiculous, right?
They wouldn't care about death. Yeah, exactly. They wouldn't care about death. So I think all they need to be, they could be like small, they're still a sphere that hovers without hover technology, but they're only the size of like a ping pong ball. And they're just filled with explosives.
So kamikazes.
They're just kamikazes.
What you've invented isn't killer robots, but a bomb.
Yeah, you've invented a hand grenade that hovers.
It's also got AI. Did I mention it's got AI? it's an important part. Yeah. Okay, it's not just. I know hand grenades exist, guys. Okay. Okay, so but it is just a hand grenade with a computer chip.
I feel like what you've done here in this trend of modern technology where everything's like a smart whatever. People are like, oh, I've got a smart thermostat. I've got a smart. You've invented the smart hand grenade.
Yeah, the smart.
Where you're like, it's Wi-Fi connected. It's got AI. It's actually a Bluetooth speaker as well if you want to connect your phone to it. But it will kill maliciously and without any resentment.
Yeah, as it's coming towards you, it plays da 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 da. It's the last thing you hear before you explode into a billion bits. That's really how robots would take over and kill us. Just explode themselves. Brilliant. Here's another one. This is by the Ant Person. One of the benefits of working hard is that going to bed feels considerably better at the end of the day.
It does feel better if you work hard, but it also feels better if you've just like had a terrible day as well. Like it's not the only way to be glad you're in bed.
Okay, you've been really depressed, perhaps.
Yeah.
And also sometimes if you've worked really hard, and this is obviously only physical work, because if you've worked mentally really hard, going to bed feels terrible. It's only if you're like physically exhausted.
Yeah.
Let's say you've worked really hard like all day. For me, by the time I'm going to bed, I'm like, well, I haven't done anything today except work really hard. I don't want to go to bed now.
Yeah. That's true.
Get up tomorrow and work really hard? This is ridiculous. It makes you angry. But then you're sad because you're both tired and your body's like, please go to bed. But your brain is going, you haven't watched the reruns of Thank God You're Here on 10play that just been uploaded. Remember how Hamish looked when he was like 15 years younger? He was real funny too. And you're like, I know, I want to watch it. I can't, but I gotta go to bed. My body's tired.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
That is a very valid
classic
point.
ant thinking though, right? That is the mentality of a person with a username ant, like an ant person.
The ant person.
Oh, I love working hard.
Hey guys, how good is it working for the colony?
That's right. I love going to my ant bed at night. Yeah. Oh, it feels so great.
I just love serving the queen with absolute loyalty.
I'm dying in 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another one. We might do this as the last one because I realize we've gone for a while and I feel like podnapping might take a little while. Who knows? Okay, so this next one is kooky candies. If we all know for a fact we'd get reincarnated, we'd probably be more concerned about the future of habitability on Earth.
Well, yeah, there's a good point. And I find it weird that like the same people that are like far right Christian fundamentalists that believe that God made the planet are also the ones that don't necessarily give a fuck that people are like raping the planet that he apparently made.
Yeah.
What you're saying? God? You're saying God's so weak he can't fix it?
Yeah.
I break the planet. You're saying God can't just be like,
Yeah.
"Who would fix it?" What are you? What are you, some kind of idiot? God made the planet. I can just do whatever I want. If he wants me to stop, he'll give me a sign.
You've instantly found the argument,
He'd be
Bill.
like,
Well
"Oh,
done.
look, sea levels are rising, and it's hot, but it's not. That's not true. So therefore, I can't break it."
If the sea's getting hotter, it's because God wants it to be hotter.
Yeah, that's right. If he wants to
what are
kill
you
us
saying?
all,
You're stronger than God.
what would you want to be reincarnated as if you knew it was going to happen?
Yep. And humans off the table?
Humans? Nah, you could be a human if you want. If you're a boring idiot.
Well, the thing is, like, it's a real gamble either way, isn't it? Because if you get reincarnated as the right cat, oh man, life is good. You're sleeping all the time. Your catnip is a thing, so you can just do that all day. But I also feel like there are cats that get abused, you know. So like anything that you're reincarnated as is a gamble. The question is, what's the animal that most consistently seems to be having a good time?
Ants, apparently. They have a real good sleep.
Yeah, ants. Come back as an ant. You just work hard. You go to sleep. And it's a short little trip because when you die, you reincarnate someone else next time. And get a little taste.
Something
taste
with
of that ant life.
Something with a short lifespan would be good as a sampler, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Because you don't have to
really
just
like
find
it.
out. Just like a quick, like an hors d'oeuvre of an afterlife.
Yeah, you don't want to commit to 80, 90 years of being a human. Get something that lives for like a week.
Yeah, one of those like sugar flies or something. You know? Such a short period of time. Okay, yeah. I think I would like to come back as a porn star. Just see what that's like.
I bet you it's not as glamorous as you think it is, Nelson.
Judging the things that people bring you, telling them, "Oh, that's worth this much, and I'm going to sell it for this much later." Yeah, if you're famous, you're on TV. Yeah, it's a pretty good life.
Yeah, exactly. That's the porn star.
Good.
I'm glad you caught.
I'm just saying, Nelson, you could do that now. You could have a personal transformation, a personal rebirth as a porn star.
Yeah.
Who's going to stop you?
Who's going to stop me? Not my mum. That's for sure.
She won't know.
Or maybe she'll figure it out. But also, I do like the idea of those porn star shows, the PAWN, because then I can, I just like the idea that you're definitely swindling like everyone that you meet. Like
I was going to say, you would be the worst at it. You would 100% be the person who sits there being like, can't do more than half a cent. Like, really, you should pay me to take this off your hands.
Yeah.
And then you put it in the window for $12,000.
Yeah. I feel like that's what happens in every one of those episodes. It's just like some guy who's like, I want this item, but I'm not going to pay anywhere near the value of what it's worth because I need to sell it on to somebody else.
The short pitch for those shows are, do you want to watch some terrible people swindle some idiots?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And
it's like Antiques Roadshow is so much more wholesome because they're not buying it. They're sitting there like, oh, if you could sell that to somebody else for £10,000. Not me though. I'm fine. Bye. You know, like so much nicer.
That's the reserved English version, isn't it?
Ooh.
Do you know what I love on those ones actually is when there's some old lady that's like, oh, I've had these plates in my family for several generations, and I don't think they're worth that much. And then the guy's like, oh, well, actually, this was designed by a very fancy artist, and they are worth £20 million. And the old lady has to keep the straight face while she says, oh, that's lovely. I mean, I would never sell them, but it's good to know. Like, you're absolutely going to sell these as soon as you're off camera.
My other favorite is same setup there. They go, we've had these plates in our family for generations. You know, I don't know if they're worth anything. And then the guy's like, they're not. And then they've realized that they've kept trash for like 4 generations that they could have thrown out because they're terrible plates.
Yeah, that's right. They and I always like how.
But even then they're so nice. No, they're so nice about it because they're just like, look, these are worth, you could maybe sell them for £1 or £2, but clearly the emotional value and the story that you have that's the important part. That you can track your family through history with these plates, and that's worth more than any number of pounds. Of course, thank you so
They're
much.
so wholesome.
You can see your grandmother's face etched in these plates, in the history of these plates.
Yeah, that's right.
Your grandmother's faith is it's worthless. It's worthless to anybody else, but to you, it's worth everything.
Yeah, that's right. They do make you feel good. I think it's maybe just the British accent, honestly.
They make you feel good.
Makes you feel good.
Well, let's try it out. Hold on. Wait, no, let's try it out. Nelson, bring me an object. I'll be the appraiser. What have you got for me, Nelson?
I've got this mug. It was I think it was on a shelf once. And my mother told me to have it when I moved out. It's a black mug.
Oh,
and I
lovely.
drink tea from it.
Yes, you can see here the lines of the handle. They're very smooth. The cup itself, it's quite shit. Your mother clearly an idiot, clearly terrible taste, and wanted you to have her trash. You're rubbish, really. And she couldn't be bothered throwing it out. You were closer. You were at hand, but the bin had been taken out already. So I think that's why she's given it to you. You should feel ashamed to have brought it to me at all.
Yes.
Is it the accent or is it the content of the word?
Yeah, no, because then at the end,
how do you feel?
Nelson, did you still want to say thank you?
I do want to thank you and invite you to my wedding. That's how nice you've been.
All right, well we've solved the puzzle.
Okay, speak with a British accent. Those people, bloody nice. All right, let's now get into podnapping.
Oh my God! I'm being podnapped.
Podnapping.
This is Podnapping, where we nap a pod. We take a topic of conversation or a segment from another podcast, and we do it ourselves. This week, lo and behold, I have podnapped Escape This Podcast.
Oh no, you're gonna get sued.
Yeah. Well, it gets worse because, Bill, I know you've occasionally listened to our show and you'll know that we quite often do the segments better than the original podcast. So apologies in advance.
Look, it'd be hard to do worse.
If we do make up a segment, it's so good people demand its own spin-off. I'm thinking, of course, of Surprise Interview.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Now, I have suggested that if you wanted a Bill, or if Dani wanted, she could join us for this segment, being the brains of Escape This Podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry to say, but
we'll need to solve all these problems.
Yeah. But would she like to come on?
Let's see. I'm going to try and let's find out.
Hey, Dani!
Don't you yell at me.
Perfect.
I'm listening.
All right.
Here she is. Dani, you can't see her, but
Dani.
Hang on a sec. We
I'm here.
need to do this officially.
Oh, it's Dani, everybody.
That's more like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
None of this rubbishing me from my Pokemon playing.
It's very important to note that the announcement bugle is quite an honor.
Yeah. And don't you wish now that I think maybe on your podcast you should have an announcement bugle every time you introduce yourself?
True. You got to get on that. Although, is a bugle quite regal enough for us?
Well,
there's got to
true.
be something that's a
grand
step higher.
piano.
I mean, it's got the word grand in it.
Bagpipes?
Better than that.
Bagpipes? I feel like they're kind of,
Bagpipes are just noise that people endure for some reason.
I'm gonna go with sousaphone.
We have been complimented on our bagpipe impression before.
Really? I kind of want to
Hey,
hear
you want to
that
hear
now.
it? This is gonna make you more popular.
Okay, yes. Go.
Would you like to be the drone, or do you want me to be the drone?
I'll be the drone. Okay,
here we go.
Okay.
That was actually way better than I thought it was going to be.
Just quickly, but before we get
into
the
most identifiable.
Before we get into the podnapping, I just need to know how you guys discovered that you could do that.
Well, see, what you
Pretty
do
sure it was
is
exactly like that.
yeah, you just go out to people and you just go
but
until eventually someone goes oh god, what a bagpipe. I never noticed. I was just going
Yeah, so at one point, just to be clear, one of you started droning at the other. And then the other,
look,
you did that thing that couples sometimes do where you get on the same wavelength. You're like,
look,
oh, you're doing the bagpipe.
I know that neither of you are married, but when you get married, you just start droning at the other one. You just drone away. It all just turns into just a low buzz.
Can I ruin this fairy tale and say that I have another reason for knowing the droning?
Oh, why?
What?
Okay, so you've done this in musical theatre, but I first learned it in band camp, the old McTavish song.
I don't know the old McTavish song.
I'm sure you do. Oh, McTavish is dead and his brother don't know it. His brother is dead and McTavish don't know it. They're both of them dead and they're in the same bed. Neither one knows it. The other one's dead. Rah, rah, rah.
Never heard this in my life.
And it ends with some bagpipe droning. And so ever since year 4, my first year of band camp at school, I have had that song. So human droning, very big part of my life.
All right.
Okay. You don't see that much on like barbershop quartets, you know.
The drone
that's
guy.
droning on the side to the tune.
But it would make it a lot better.
I think it'd be great. Do you know I watched a barbershop quartet once on YouTube, and now I always get recommendations.
You've really screwed your algorithm up.
It's like a virus on my computer.
Well,
but anyway,
I'm just saying there are 4 of us here.
Ooh.
Which one's the drone guy?
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Okay. So, let's get into podnapping. So I'm podnapping Escape This Podcast. Yes, I did a brief introduction, but Dani, the brains of the operation, I'm going to say, for Escape This Podcast. And Bill really he married up, I think, is what happened. And he's along for the ride. But Dani normally creates all these different, very interesting rooms with lots of different puzzles. And so I've tried to do the same. Now, I need to preface this a little bit because here's the thing. I haven't had anyone play test this, which I know, Dani, you quite frequently do. You have somebody to make sure that the room makes sense and that you can indeed escape.
Yeah, after some experience with gambling on not playtesting, it has come to my attention that it helps.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've taken the gamble.
You spun the wheel, Nelson.
Yeah. And so this is how bad it started. Not only have I obviously not had anyone playtest it or even read over it, but after I finished typing it out, I didn't even read back over it. So, I've also tried to keep it shorter than your one, but I still think it might be a few minutes. So.
This is coming from the same man that doesn't pre-read people's usernames before reading them out live on air.
Now, I will say that just like 2 days ago, 2 days ago?
Two
days
days
ago, we did one of these rooms, an audio-only room, and it was designed by one of the best puzzle designers and escape room creators in LA.
Whoa.
Huge pedigree of puzzle design and phenomenal skills, brilliant understanding of story and pacing and how to work puzzles into a plot. So that's where we're at. That's where we're sitting at.
Also, to let you know, we were pitched it as a 90-minute room, and how long did we spend in there?
It did take us at least 3 hours. So if you're thinking this is going to go for 15, buckle up for 45.
Oh, boy. Here's what's going to be embarrassing is when my puzzles and story is better than his. And he's going to think he's a failure.
He's going to quit the industry.
But anyway, okay, here we go. Also, maybe is something else as a precursor is that maybe you should suspend a bit of disbelief, I think, Maybe you're in a slightly fantasy world. I'm not sure. Maybe it makes sense. Anyway, here we go. Okay. You've been kidnapped, probably, or something. You awake, lying on a damp floor, unable to see anything as a black hood has been placed over your head. You move about and feel chains binding your arms and feet together. As you do, the chains echo in what you imagine must be a relatively small room. You also hear the dripping of water. With what limited range of motion you have with your hands, you can feel you feel around the chains, and you can feel 3 rotating dials linking 2 parts of the chains together. That's all you've got so far.
Oh no.
Okay, first things first. Can we take our hood off?
Can we shake the hoods off?
You can't. It's somehow tied to the chains. Dang. Also, if it takes you too long to get stuff, I'm just going to wildly hint at it because to save time.
And Campbell, you playing as well?
I am playing.
In the room.
You're
all together.
Yeah. I am playing.
This one human being.
This is what Nelson knows about me, but you guys are about to discover is I'm very slow at games.
Yeah, puzzles in general, maybe.
So like we've all done an escape room in real life together, and I think I'll take a role much like the role I took there, which is just general commentary.
Yeah. I feel like maybe one puzzle you had the answer slightly after somebody else came.
Yeah. Someone let me have it. Yeah. Someone's like, he's almost there.
I get it now.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Is there an open door that we can just walk through?
So
no, we're chained up.
Yeah, but I'm saying if we get rid of the chains, is there an open door?
You're chained up and you can't see.
Feet and hands?
Does it feel like we're chained to something or just chained up? Like
can we
chains? I've drawn myself hogtied with chains.
You're chained to each other. You know, I think I'm going to give you a clue because I feel like...
No, hold on. I want to keep going.
Okay.
There's 3 dials on the chains.
Reject that.
Can we feel? Can we feel the dials to see like how many settings are on each one, or can we feel what they're pointing to?
Yeah. If you feel them, you can press into them, and you can with your very genius touch, you can feel that there's numbers. And there's like a very distinct little arrow at one end, and on the numbers that you can feel, there's 0 to 9.
Okay, so like 3 numbers would get us out. It feels
sounds like it.
Okay, and those are the chains on our arms, right? Is there anything on our foot chains?
From what you can feel, looks like it's all tied together. You're all tied together.
Sorry, I've got to adjust my illustration.
How do we source numbers?
We got to feel stuff, clearly.
If we smell or listen and use our extra senses.
Guys, I've got this. We need 3 numbers. We need 3 numbers. 111. Nelson?
Doesn't work.
Okay.
112.
You keep trying. We'll look around the room.
I'll keep doing this and you guys do the real work.
I felt
Bill, you were
onto
onto something just then.
Yeah, can we if we listen real hard, is someone in the outside the room going like 427 427 427? Oh yeah.
Well, what you can hear in this room is the dripping of water.
Oh, the dripping of the water! It's gonna be like doing it in the code of the number.
I didn't draw the dripping of the water.
Give me the
drips.
Idiot. Give me those drips, baby.
If you concentrate, you can hear the drips go, drip, 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 drip. Drip, drip. And then a longer pause, and it repeats.
Beautiful.
242?
Let's see if we can fumble our way to 242.
You do 242, but it doesn't work.
No.
It went drip, 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 drip. Then a pause, and then it repeated. That feels like 242 to me.
Oh, no.
So maybe it's not? Is it definitely when it repeats, repeating like that exact sequence of drips?
Yep.
What else could it be if it's not 242?
There is a description of the room that I included that might help that.
There was a gross mat.
Oh, there was a gross mat.
That was what I was planning.
We're on a damp. Well, let's look at the gross mat
before you started listening to stuff.
You're on damp floor. It's actually hard. It's hard tiles, and it's a damp floor.
Can we feel any of the tiles?
You are, but you can, but they are unimportant. Would you like me to read the first?
Yeah,
little bit
read it again, and
Okay.
I'll use my hearing.
You awake lying on a damp floor, unable to see anything as a black hood has been placed over your head. You move about and feel chains binding to your arms and feet together. As you do, the chains echo in what you imagine must be a relatively small room. You also hear the dripping of the water.
121. Is it echoing the drips?
You put 121 into the code and unlock it.
Yeah, but you were going to get there first with your guessing.
No, I knew that you guys worked that out minutes ago, and you were just waiting for me.
So you fiddle with the dials and rotate them in the right order. You pull at the chains and hear a click. The chains fall freely from your body, and you're able to remove.
We hear 2 clicks.
You hear 2 clicks. The chains fall freely from your body, and you're able to remove the black hood. Now that you can see, you look around the room and take in your surroundings. You are standing in the center of a circular room that is lined with small tiles, like the ones you'd find in a pool. There are no doors on the wall, but as you look up, you can see 50 meters above you is a ceiling that looks like it opens. One of those like spirally opening door things.
Like a submarine hatch?
Sure. Do they open in that spirally way?
You turn a big,
like an
a big
iris.
wheel. Oh, right. Okay. Oh, yeah. I see what you mean.
I was picturing more like an entrance to the Fallout 4 vault that goes up
Yes!
and down, sort of like that.
Yes. That is exactly what it's like. And you know what?
Not try and handle the door just starts spinning and then explodes.
Yeah. Also, not a relevant detail of what the door looks like. You know what? It's just a door. Coming down from the ceiling along one side of the wall is a PVC pipe a few inches wide that goes all the way down and stops at about waist height. On the other side of the room, you locate the source of the dripping tap. It too seems to be coming from way up in the ceiling, but you can't entirely make out its source or see the faucet that it's leaking from. On another side of the room is a large locker, about 7 feet tall and 4 feet wide. Next to that it's pretty large. Next to that is a metal desk bolted to the ground, and next to that is a 240-litre garbage bin next to it. On the opposite side of the desk is a large metal tank that reads O2, and next to that, affixed to the wall, is a large valve wheel. Finally, in the very center of the room, in the floor, is a hole that is a few inches thick. And it looks like the water is running down and it's acting as a drain.
Okay.
What kind of place is this?
Sounds like a silo or something.
Oh, no, they explode a lot.
Yes, it is an exploding silo.
Okay, drawing a really big rubbish bin is not easy, apparently.
Still like that.
And mine looks more like somehow the alien Stitch.
That's very weird.
That's a stretch. I like it. Okay, what would
so
you
what
like
do
to
you want to look at first, folks? Do you want to go to this pipe to see?
Oh
if
my
there's
god, this is
anything
going to be
in
the
bottom of
longest
it?
episode we've ever done, just by the way.
So yes, this is going to be a full episode of our show on the end of a long episode of your show.
Pretty much.
We go to the pipe.
Let's go to that PVC pipe.
Let's not talk. No fun and games here.
Okay.
Puzzle to solve. Pipe.
Okay. The PVC pipe, as you walk over to it and as you look up into the bottom of it just looks like a normal PVC pipe when you look at it. But as you look up into the bottom of the pipe, there is a small sticker with an arrow pointing up to the roof that says ceiling release button.
What? Okay.
But there's no button?
The's no button, so you can just look up into the pipe and it goes all the way to the ceiling.
Can we climb the pipe? Is it sturdy enough to climb?
No, you can't. It's only kind of a small,
Are we sturdy enough to climb?
Few inches wide.
Well, in this scenario, I'm really buff. I forgot to mention that in this one particular.
But now you're too heavy for the pipe.
Yeah. You would pull the pipe off the wall.
I've got this pipe.
I want to check out this locker, the giant locker.
Yeah, let's look up the big locker that could not even fit Cambo. He's too big.
Yeah. Okay. This large metal locker is firmly bolted to the ground. and the doors are locked. On the front is a handwritten note that says, "Don't accidentally throw the key out like last time."
I'll check the rubbish bin.
The rubbish bin is a large 240-liter bin that sits beside this desk. It is lined with a large black bin liner and is mostly empty. But at the very bottom,
There's a key.
you look, and there's a handful of syringes.
Ugh. Surrounding a key.
Surrounding a key. If I take the liner out, is there a key in the bin?
Bingo, bango, you got yourself a key. That's how
Ooh.
easy it was.
Is that is that a catchphrase that you guys are going to implement on your podcast? Bingo, bango, you've got yourself a key.
Have you not been listening this entire
I'm
the
pretty
last
sure
season?
you stole it from us.
That's all
I
we
was
say.
mimicking their line, Cambo. Now you've just shown that you don't listen to their
No,
podcast.
Nelson, this is my new
all we say. That's it.
this is my new thing is what we do is we claim credit for everything no matter what.
Okay, yeah.
My new introduction for the show is welcome to Escape This Podcast. Bingo, bango, you found the podcast. that's what we do.
I love it.
Let's open the locker, shall we?
At the bottom of the bin, there was a key. The lockers, yes. No, wait, you already looked at that. The desk? Do you mean?
Yeah, but we got the key.
Oh, you're opening the locker. Sorry. I've already forgotten
with the key I
what
found.
this
I'm not a
room is
fool.
about. Okay. You stick the key into the locker, and as you turn the key, you notice that it's a little difficult to do so because the door seems to be bulging. As soon as the lock clicks open, the door bursts open, pushing you backwards as hundreds of yellow rubber ducks fall to the ground in front of you.
Like every silo. Sure.
Yes, this is a silo that produces rubber ducks. It stores rubber ducks for future use
And explodes.
and explodes.
Okay, we have all the rubber ducks we need. I'm glad.
Is there
Are
a
they
way?
looking deflated at all? Do you reckon they need some oxygen?
They look like normal summer rubber ducks. You know, like maybe you could blow them up further, but otherwise they just look, pretty normally
They're healthy enough.
flated. Yeah.
All right, the desk.
Let's do it.
Let's look at that desk.
On the metal desk, there's 2 drawers. Inside one drawer is a roll of duct tape. And inside the other drawer is full of half a dozen different types of syringes. They're different sizes of syringes. There's a handwritten note beside laying inside that says, "Stop throwing the syringes straight into the bin. It's poking holes in the bin liner and the bin juice runs everywhere. Put some duct tape around the end if you're throwing it in the bin." They obviously don't have a sharps container.
Ridiculous.
How do you make duct tape
All
with
right,
a bunch of
so
ducks?
Where that key is, we'll get some bin juice if you need it.
I mean, there was duct tape.
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Can we tape up the ducks?
Yeah, make duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape. I'm sorry. Okay, what did you want to do, Bill?
I don't know.
Nelson, I want you to settle an internet myth for me. If I squeeze the rubber duck, does it echo?
Yes. Should it?
All right, cool. Good
Good
to
to
know.
know.
Good to put that one to rest. I don't know.
That's the big question.
Do you wanna check
Nelson,
the
just quickly,
drain?
not
If
super
we can pick down
relevant.
the brain.
Yeah, let's have a look down the drain.
If we're getting Nelson to answer random questions, if a tree falls in the forest and no one is around, does it in fact make a noise?
It echoes.
Yeah, okay.
I'd like to know, actually, yeah.
In the drain,
It doesn't make the original sound, but it does echo.
in the drain, so the drain's a few inches wide, and it doesn't look like there's anything else in there. It's just the drain goes straight down in and yes, drains
To hell?
the water.
I like
To
this
hell.
story.
Oh my gosh.
Do you reckon? No, it probably isn't clogged because otherwise it would already be clogged because the water is. Because I was thinking like you could like pour water to like have something come up out of the drain,
Yeah.
but presumably it's already.
Oh my
got,
god,
like,
did I forget a
you know,
detail? Oh my god.
Water going through it.
I absolutely forgot a detail. Yeah.
Just edit it in post.
Okay. Oh no, I think that I said it already. What did I say is next to the tank? Did I say anything?
There's a valve.
Okay, yep, never mind. Continue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Should we go to the valve?
We just haven't gone over there yet.
Valve over the tank.
Okay. The valve.
Sure. Like you don't care about the tank. You just want to look at the valve.
Let's look at the tank first. What's up with the tank?
Okay, the tank is just a large, heavy tank. It goes up to about chest height, and it has a valve at the top and a small circular outlet about the size of a quarter.
Or a 20-cent coin.
Or a 20-cent coin.
You have
Around
a
that
quarter.
size.
It's much smaller than a 20-cent coin.
It's not that much smaller.
A bit smaller. I feel like it's in between a 10-cent and 20-cent.
So does that mean... For sure. Does that mean we need one to make it do something? Or
No, I think it's
is that
like
where
the
it's going to
size of
come
it.
out?
So like,
or like, what is this?
well, that's an outlet, right? So that'll be like if we turn the crank, it'll
Oxygen
like
will come
oxygen,
out?
compressed oxygen will come out there.
Okay,
We
good
need
to
to
know.
fill anything with oxygen.
Super don't want to do that in a silo.
What happens if we do turn that valve?
Don't do it. You'll kill us all.
It comes out. The oxygen comes out. Yeah, pressurized oxygen, like you said, kind of starts pouring out.
I put my mouth on it and I try and breathe some in, expecting to have a funny voice, and then I turn to Dani and I go, "Hey, is my voice weird?" Oh, damn.
It'd be even more of an insult if they're like, yeah, kind of. Like, but it didn't change.
It doesn't change.
Right, let's take a look at the big valve on the wall.
The big valve on the wall.
The one that's been dripping.
The valve has a large sort of circular wheel that you can turn, but it won't turn. On the right-hand side is a large pin that goes through the wheel and into a solid piece of metal behind it.
Well, this valve is a
Can we
dead
remove
end.
the
Let's
pin?
forget about it.
You move. You move.
Yep.
Hambo, helpful as usual, as always. You remove the pin, and you have now solved the valve pin puzzle.
Guys,
And
I
you
was
can
wrong about
now
that valve.
freely turn the valve.
This is like that moment in a real escape room where you find something like this and you think, oh, they had a puzzle here, but people couldn't solve it. So they got rid of it.
Yeah,
But they
that's
kept
right.
the pin. Like, clearly there was a puzzle here at one point. They got rid of it.
I disagree. This is much more like the real moment in an escape room where you just,
Where you try the door handle and it opens.
I don't know, where the object that you need to solve the puzzle is sitting on the shelf and you just never looked at the shelf because who looks at shelves?
Yeah,
All right, so we
that's
pulled
right.
the pin. What happens if we valve the valve?
If you valve the valve, if you turn the valve, you hear the sound of rushing water, and after a few moments, a heavy stream of water erupts from the side of the wall up near the very ceiling and starts pouring down into this room with you.
Okay.
But it is quickly drained.
So if we block the drain and let enough water in,
anything-
we'll float to the top near
Oh,
the door.
we'll be able to swim up.
Put all the
But we'll
ducks
need
in the
to,
drain.
release the ceiling.
Okay, put all the ducks in the drain. Well, because the button is up the pipe, right? So you put the ducks in the drain, block the
Yeah.
drain, flood the room, swim up to the top, release the door, and get out.
Okay, how would you like to start that
I mean-
process?
We need to block the drain.
See, I disagree with using the ducks to block the drain.
Would you rather use the garbage bag?
I'd rather use the duct tape.
Oh, yeah, maybe the duct tape. That makes more sense.
You get to use the duct tape, and maybe it's a crappy duct tape material, but because the ground's already a bit damp, it
No
just
such
doesn't
thing.
stick down.
How do the ducks work, Nelson?
Okay, well then let's shove
It's
those ducks in.
outrageous.
How do the what? Sorry?
The ducks. If we fill the drain with ducks, does it seem to hold water?
Well, you put one duck
Yep.
down the drain,
Fall straight to
and
hell?
it falls really like it almost looks like it would clog the drain, but it's just a little bit too skinny to do that. So it falls all the way down, and you feel like it falls pretty far. So it'd probably be difficult to put all the ducks down to drain it.
But
And also,
one
if
duck
water
almost
filled
fits.
up,
Good idea.
they would
Yeah.
float.
I've got an idea.
I've got
too.
an idea.
Yep, go on.
Say yours first.
Okay, I take the duck over to the O2 tank.
Yep.
I
Yep.
plug it in. I pump that baby up. High pressure, big fat duck, shove it in the drain.
Well,
That was
you
not my
go-
thought.
you go over to the oxygen tank, but the thick outlet, circular outlet, is too big. Remember, it's the size of a quarter, and the little kind of pump area in the duct is very small, so you can't actually.
Do one of the syringes fit as a transmorpher? If I put the
Can we transfer
oxygen
can I
put the
from
syringe
to duct?
or maybe the syringe top or whatever, like on that outlet, and then the syringe part into a duct, and then duct tape it up at both ends so that no air escapes?
Yeah, that was going to be a mini puzzle in of itself, because as you take out the plunger and you put in the right syringe into the tank, you turn it on, but there's a hissing sound. So then you get the duct tape and you wrap it around.
Guys, we also could have duct taped 2 ducks together to make them fit as well. Think about that.
Yeah, but they don't tessellate.
I love that
Rubber ducks don't tessellate very well. It wouldn't work that way.
When you put the 2 ducts together and you put them in, they fill up the space, but there's a little bit of empty space, so all the water goes through over their backs.
Yeah,
that don't quite meet, like water off a duct.
I've got to tell you, I'm quite certain I have seen a tessellating duct pattern that's kind of like that, but that worked.
Just because some ducts tessellate,
these
that doesn't mean all ducts.
I'm going to say the only reason it doesn't work is because it's not what Nelson had as the solution.
No, that definitely wouldn't work anyway. If you
oxygenate these
together, Nelson, duct taping 2 ducts together it'll block any drain, and you know that.
I don't think you need to visualize this better in your mind, Gambit. It does not make sense. Okay, anyway. You put oxygen.
So interesting that we both wanted to oxygenate the ducts, clearly for very different reasons.
What did you want to do with it?
I want to use them as like a safety for later when we've filled up the room with water.
Oh,
and
you
we're
hold on to all the ducts.
It's 50 meters high. I want to use them as mini oxygen masks.
I don't need to because I'm super ripped, so I've got huge lungs.
Well, what happens is you block the drain with the now blown up duct, and as you do, it perfectly blocks the drain, and the room starts filling with water. As it starts filling, you're a little bit concerned that you'll have to tread water for quite a long time because it's only filling up relatively slowly. And you don't think that even big old Cambo with his rippling muscles and huge lungs doesn't think that he could tread water long enough to make it to the top before drowning.
Guys, I've just had a thought. Should we inflate some ducks?
Yeah.
You can use the ducks now, but because my last idea with the ducks didn't work, instead you can inflate them. I'm just going to take the O2 tank, tip it upside down, and full blast open it and use it to rocket me.
You're going to take the Wally approach. I appreciate that.
Brilliant. Okay, Dani has escaped, so it's just you two left.
Blown a hole in the ceiling.
Yeah, so
Duckraft?
Duckraft? Yeah. So how are you planning to do that?
Duct tape some ducks together.
All right, you take all these ducks and you tessellate them together because we all know the ducks tessellate, and then you just bind them all up in duct tape, and then you lie on the raft and let the current take you closer.
Go on, Nelson. Tell us why that wouldn't work.
You start doing that, but there's not enough duct tape. It's only like a quarter of a roll of duct tape.
Well, can we
run out of duct tape?
Now I know that bin bag had syringes in it, but did they pierce the bag? Or we can just duct tape up the holes in the bin bag. We can duct tape those holes, bin bag secure, fill it with oxygen, tie it off, and just hold on to that.
Yeah, there's an idea.
Well, because Bill, you carelessly threw the bin liner on the bag, it got damp. And as mentioned earlier, the duct tape doesn't stick to the dampness very well.
All right. What about your head bags?
Ooh, a head bag.
They're
can we? No, that's probably
mesh and
fabricy, right? If we can breathe through them, we're probably not going to hold on to
the bin itself.
Yeah, turn the bin upside down. Sit on it.
It has holes in the bottom for. training.
You know what? Just hold on to the pipes and climb up them.
Climb the pipe as the water goes.
I feel like you're very clear. If you like combine some ideas, you'll have the solution.
Do chains float?
The chains float. That was the key.
I feel like an idiot for not asking this right at the start, Nelson, but us in this room, can we fly?
Oh, yeah, you can fly.
Oh, right.
Sorry.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, I can, but I think I stole all the magic.
What else do we need to do? Because we want the water to go up so we can actually get out of here.
Yeah.
So we just need a way to float. We haven't really done anything with the tiles on the walls. I don't know if they're important in any way. Can we like pull any off? Is there like behind some tiles some floating devices?
No, you've got everything you need.
Well, we don't have the answer. We need that.
That is
What
true.
if we just fill our clothes with ducks? What if we just put ducks all in our clothes and then button up real tight?
You're very
There's
close.
some joke about
It's very close.
Ducks in our...
How is that very close?
Ducks in the head bag.
No. I think it's...
ducks in the bin bag.
We put a duck in each of our shoes, and then we just stand on the water as it rises.
Whoa, no, I've heard about children who tried to do this and they just flip upside down.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, but children are idiots. We're fully grown adults. I reckon we can do it.
Bill, what you do is you fill the bin bag with all these ducks. You tie it off, and you realize that all these ducks sort of patched together make a type of raft.
Always float.
And you are able to sit atop of it as it floats. But as it,
there's no room for you to
and it sits atop, the roof is still sealed shut.
What if we go? But at the top of the pipe, there's a ceiling release button.
I take the smallest, back down the bottom, I take the smallest duck and I put it in the PVC pipe and hope that it floats up and hits a button.
That's a good plan.
You put the duck underneath the PVC pipe at the right time and it slowly floats up. You wait. It's almost a few hours by the time this whole room eventually floats to the top. You get right to the top. Your head is like
we should have
pressing. It's the ceiling. Yeah,
we should have got to this point and then done an episode of Reddit on Reddit to pass the time.
You could have.
Just seen escape at the end.
That's exactly right. Your head kind of pushes against the ceiling, and just when your head is about to go underwater, the ceiling comes open in any way that you imagined that ceiling to open.
So it was important.
And you climb out, and you realize that you're in some sort of weird warehouse that just has this pool hole thing. And I'm there, and I say, well done, Bill, Dani, and Cambo. You have completed the first task in your 00 training, like 007. The next task
this is a job interview.
is to dodge this bullet. And then I shoot Cambo. And Cambo dies.
It doesn't bounce off my pecs.
And then I say, whoops, let's not do that again.
You can just
Dani
have
and
the
Bill,
job.
you're hired.
We did it.
You've escaped the room thing.
I gotta say, when that started filling up with water, I was thinking, oh man, we're in some kind of mini toilet universe.
You know what's funny? I did have the thought of mini toilet universe at one point as well.
You're all poos the whole time.
I have a sealed envelope here, which I prepared before the show. I'm just going to open it up, and that's right. Look at this, Dani. It says toilet universe. I predict. Right here, you can see it at home.
Yeah.
I'm showing it on the Google chat to Nelson and Cambo. You see this?
Can confirm.
Right,
Yes.
Yeah, it's because Nelson said,
I
"Hey,
have my piece of paper just said poop on it. Does that count?
Yes.
well, it's because
I will
when you
accept
heard Nelson's arranging an escape room, you both went, well, toilets, obviously."
Yeah.
Toilet universe.
This is gonna stink.
For what it's worth, I love that echoing puzzle at the start.
Echo puzzle was a great puzzle.
That was awesome.
Know what? Danny, I came up with this idea quite a long time ago, and you might remember you created a room where somebody was stuck in a bakery, and they had to taste different pies, I think, and and so as I was listening to that episode, I thought, like using different senses, I think, is a really interesting way to solve puzzles. And so then I thought, what if something echoed, and then that was kind of like you had to work out that there was an echo, and so that's how I came up with that. Just from your original idea.
For what it's worth, guys, I've done a room in Sydney that is called Senses. You guys should do that together if you two are ever up in Sydney.
We're locked down. Did you have to? So I don't think we're getting out anytime soon.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
In fact, our house is somewhat of an escape room right now.
All right,
that was
cool.
great.
Well, yeah.
That's a great
Thank you for that.
room. Nice.
It was short
bingo
enough
bango at the top of my notes.
that our duck bickering did not feel like it detracted too much.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, that's right.
Did not feel like it was, guys, you've still got 40 minutes to go. Stop it.
And I like that the setup, the setting of the damp floor and the dripping was not thrown away after we solved that puzzle.
Right?
Like it was still thematically consistent with the rest of the room.
Absolutely.
And we still used that same dripping object again. Like I like that. It had a really nice continuation from the start to the finish, while also changing a lot. It felt very different, but had a unifying theme, and I liked it.
And guys, as a bit of a personal thing, I solved a puzzle, which I never do.
Yeah, you did.
You did. We wouldn't have got the echo. Like you were ahead of us on that echo puzzle. I was going to say something. You interrupted me to give the right answer. I was not going to give anything close to the right answer.
Cool. So, thank you, guys. I think I did mention at the start that I was going to be better than that guy that you had last week or 2 weeks ago, and I definitely have proved that. But thank you guys for playing my room. Anybody listening should check out Escape This Podcast if they haven't already, or Escape This Murder. No, I've got that wrong.
Solve this murder.
Solve This Murder.
We very rarely manage to escape them.
Can you guys make a third podcast called Escape This Murder?
Yeah, I think you guys should. It's where somebody it says to somebody else, "I'm gonna murder you."
Well, what it is, it's like they're escape rooms, but they're all like those Saw puzzles where you're certainly gonna die unless you escape it.
You could have drowned in this one. This was kind of this murder in a way.
We could have. Cambo didn't manage to escape his murder.
Yeah, that's true.
You're shot. I think what we're going to do is probably end the episode there rather than going to our AMA, because I'm pretty sure we're up to like almost 2 hours, which is nuts. And we don't edit and we won't edit.
Yeah.
It's going to be this.
This will be out momentarily.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
But so
the first half of this episode, it's already live.
It's already up there. But yes, thank you, Bill. Thank you, Dani, for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
You did a great job. I like it.
Thank you. If any of our people listening would like to write into us, they can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast at gmail.com. They can also reach us at Facebook, Twitter, and our subreddit. They're all READIT podcast. We'd also really love for you to rate us. Now, sometimes we ask you to write stupid things while you're rating us in a podcast app. I thought this week maybe you can rate us 5 stars, naturally. But then tell us the best Escape This Podcast episode that you liked. So for a bit of cross promotion. And
also, if you do want to email in, if you do want to email in and argue the point that 2 ducks duct taped together would block a drain, feel free to do that.
It doesn't make sense. I'm gonna have to do this puzzle in real life.
But yes, of course, as well, send in your voice clips for episode 200, whether or not you want to send it to Reddit Podcast or whether you want to send it to us on social media. As long as we can download it, we can use it.
Just quickly on that as well, I think that we told people that they should do it before.
Great idea for what you should send in for the 200th episode. No, I've got it. It's what you should do. If you want to really contribute to the show for 200th episode, do your own version of one of the intro songs. Do your own jingle.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Do your own shower.
I really
And then
thought
they
you were
can
going to
use
say,
them.
do your own bagpipe noise.
Do your own bagpipe noise as the music.
We'll take it all.
You do 3 recordings. First pass recording is this. Second pass recording is this. And then third pass recording is welcome to Shower Thoughts. I'm thinking in showers and I'm going to the shower to have thoughts on Reddit. And then they can just put it in and then they've got a new theme. Do that for the 200th episode. That's my advice to you.
Brilliant. That's actually a very good idea. Okay, we're looking forward to those then, everyone. If, of course, you manage to make it to the end of this podcast.
References an obscure 2001 Australian hair shampoo advertisement.
Hey,
don't bring that up. Don't bring that up, okay?
Bill, we are the podcast that introduced the wider world to the Montague Street Bridge. If we're not introducing the people to very niche Australian things, then what are we doing?
All right, we need to end this freaking podcast. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we will read you later.